Hey everybody, we have a lot to get to at 4 today, including this right here, these winter weather advisories in our near future. You can see them here on Future Track 13, what the map is looking like over the next 24 hours. We're watching that closely, and we've also got the latest on this terrible flu going around. You know about that.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's nasty. I'm sorry, guys. Boy, it hit our house hard. Yeah.
I know. I'm glad you guys are on the mend and feeling better. I feel like half the newsroom is on cough syrup. Okay, so everybody seems to know somebody that is battling the flu or some kind of illness, right? Doctors' offices are packed with people suffering from flu-like symptoms. So we're going to take a look at the latest numbers and what doctors are telling us. We have that in a moment, but we are starting here in the Weather Center with Sean because we're bracing for what could be some dangerous winter weather.
You're tracking this thing. You've got the timing. Could be a close call for the Indy Metro, right? As far as what we get?
As it sometimes is, yeah. In the line between a cold rain and then freezing rain sleet will be very thin here. And speaking of timing, I want to point out, like I usually like to do, don't wake up tomorrow morning and expect all of this to be happening because it's just not going to be a morning situation here. So let's get you ready here this evening. Remember, we've talked about two systems. This is the first one, and it is producing some snow here. Thankfully, temperatures now well above freezing, so the roadways over southern Indiana into Louisville right now are wet. It's dry, a lot of cloud cover, not a whole lot of precipitation around the central and northern sections of the state here. Yes, that is a winter weather advisory that's now in effect for parts of Indiana, at least the northern half. Nothing changing with our forecast at this time. That's still going to be the mixing bowl here. And Dustin mentioned the metro area. Very close call on whether or not the cold rain takes over and limits the impacts to the roadways here. We still feel confident northwest Indiana, predominantly snow, heavy at times there, into parts of Chicago and lower Michigan. And then in this pink zone here, Carmel, Crawfordsville, Muncie, Marion, Kokomo, it'll be a little bit of everything. Snow, some sleet, some freezing rain here. The farther north you go, the less ice you get into. And the farther south you go, it's just kind of a cold rain. That includes Franklin and Shelbyville, Richmond, Bloomington, and Columbus here. So we'll get a little more into the timeline for tomorrow coming up here in a few minutes with the 7-day forecast.
All right, I know you're watching it closely. Thank you, Sean. To the headlines now. A 19-year-old man made his first court appearance today for attempted murder charges. Dante Roney is accused of shooting two people on I-70 in what police call a planned targeted attack.
Rich Nye had his camera in the courtroom when the prosecution asked for high bond to keep Roney in jail.
Police believe that Dante Roney knew the driver and car he was looking for and where to find them on Interstate 70 around 1:30 a.m. on January 2nd. Roney is accused of catching up to that car on eastbound I-70 and firing several shots between the Keystone and Emerson Avenue exits. State police say the car had 9 bullet holes. The man driving was hit in the elbow. His girlfriend in the passenger seat was shot in the head.
This is essentially a murder case. We have 2 or more victims. There's a deadly weapon involved. There's beyond serious bodily injury. Miss Edwards is brain dead and is only alive through life support measures.
Investigators used the city flock camera system to locate Roney's Jeep Grand Cherokee in the area and exiting I-70 at Post Road just after the shooting, and then going to his east side apartment. Cell phone data also put him in the area. Police tracked the Jeep leaving the state, and Roney was arrested in Danville, Illinois on January 11th. Police say they found a gun in the center console. A firearms investigator matched shell casings found along the interstate after the shooting to that gun. The prosecution asked for higher than standard bond.
You understand that, sir? Right now your bond's set at $600,000 cash. That's what it would take in order to post you out. All right, do you have any questions?
Roney told the judge he plans to hire his own attorney. He's due back in court April 23rd. At the Marion County Community Justice Campus, Rich Nye, 13 News.
Also today, we've learned the family of a 3-year-old boy seriously hurt in a car crash last week has made the incredibly difficult decision to take him off life support. This is a story we've been following from Plainfield. Little Aries was severely burned when a car police had been chasing from Avon, according to officers, crashed into them, and then their car burst into flames. Police say that car was going almost 90 miles an hour. Aries' 2-month-old baby sister Iris was killed in that crash. Police say the driver they were chasing, Sedante Pettis, has been charged.
And today we learned a man is in critical condition after being pulled from a burning home on the city's north side. IFD says firefighters were called to this home near 38th and Byram Avenue shortly before 6 this morning. And when they got on the scene, they found a home just engulfed in flames. Firefighters say they quickly found a man who was inside and transported him to the hospital. And investigators are telling us the home had squatter-like conditions. 13 News spoke to a neighbor at the scene who says she woke up to the flames, and she says the homeowners died a few years ago. Now she's shocked to find out that someone was even living inside.
It's cold out, you know, they're homeless and the city is a problem, and it didn't surprise me that someone was in there. So it is concerning to think, you know, we don't know what's going on our street as well.
Right now, investigators are still working to determine what the cause of the fire is.
And happening right now as we speak, a local task force is meeting to try and make the city safer for cyclists and pedestrians. This group is called Vision Zero because they want to eventually eliminate all cyclist and pedestrian deaths. Over the last several years, Indy has seen an increase in the number of crashes involving these folks. We've reported on this before. According to Safe Streets Indy, there were more than 780 accidents between cars and bicycles or people walking across the street or along the street. 38 people died. Task force members tell us today's meeting will focus on information they've gathered over the last few months with safety consultants.
So we really want to communicate what we're planning to do as far as public input into this process. So we'll have information on website we'll be developing, public meetings that will happen in the spring, and sort of all the next steps that you'll see between now and the report being developed.
This task force was formed back in August. It has 15 people on board, including 3 members of the City County Council. You saw one of them in that sound there a second ago. The other members are from the community and then different city departments. We're going to have a live report from this meeting. We'll let you know what happened coming up at 6.
The ACLU is suing Indiana State University for blocking a Pride Festival. The group is asking a judge to force ISU to host Pride Fest 2025 on campus this August, and they're citing First Amendment rights. However, ISU has already secured an agreement with the city of Terre Haute to hold a Pride Fest off campus at a city park. The ACLU believes hosting the festival on campus will demonstrate to new students that ISU is a welcoming school.
To avoid prison time, Steve Bannon is pleading guilty to defrauding donors. Bannon is accused of spearheading an online fundraiser called We Build the Wall to solicit donations, and prosecutors say Bannon and others raised over $15 million. In the plea agreement, he will not serve any time in prison and will not have to pay restitution. Bannon was sentenced to a 3-year conditional discharge.
And now we have a story out of Purdue University where some students say they are concerned about overcrowding in dorm rooms, especially involving one group in particular. This
has been an ongoing issue for several years now. A lot of students and families concerned about this. Our Karen Campbell traveled to West Lafayette today for a closer look.
RAs tell me they just had a meeting last night with leadership, and they say they know their list of demands won't be fixed overnight, but they are hopeful that some of the items that they are concerned about will be addressed. Resident assistants at Purdue are trying to gain enough signatures to unionize for fair working conditions. They tell 13 News they know problems have existed in the past, but they want to change the way current situations are now. Suzanne Elia has been an RA for 2 years and says some have to share a room, which takes away from their ability to do their jobs, providing residents with one-on-one support.
The fallbacks of that are increased living capacities, where there's so many people in a dorm room. We're having to outsource our residence halls. We're buying apartments off campus.
According to Purdue, there are 2 new residence hall projects in the works, one to be completed in the fall of this year, the other in 2026. A Purdue spokesperson tells me that the 2 new facilities will add about 1,900 beds combined, which may help ease some of the overcrowding in the future. Karen Campbell, 13 News.
Karen, thank you. The Purdue men's basketball team is on the road today, hoping to keep their winning streak going. The number 7 Boilermakers are going to take on 20th ranked Michigan tonight up in Ann Arbor. They just played them last month, and the Boilers easily cruised to a 27-point victory in that game. Hoping to do the same thing again tonight. The two are going to tip off at 7 o'clock.